Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Dr. Grimshaw's Sanitarium.
Man, I love sci-fi. I really do. It's one of my favorite genres. When I was little, I used to play with toys, and I would always love to listen to things while I played. The thing that I would listen to was X minus 1. I was always fascinated with spaceships and astronauts and outer space and aliens and laser guns. And X minus 1 is top tier for me. And I mean, these things came out way before I was even born, like in the 1950s, I believe. Old radio broadcasts, you know what I mean? And I just love listening to it. It's like taking a glimpse into a bygone era, into the past, into a time that I have no frame of reference for. But God, is it fun to just hear how they sound and how they talk and the way they pronounce words. Even it's like completely different from how we do it in today's day and age. Like, they don't say robots, they say robots. Characters, and they have that, that classic 1950s voice whenever they talk. I remember there's several where they're just like, we're gonna get shot by these robots. And I was like, robots? What, my guy? I'll briefly talk a bit about some of my favorite episodes, the ones that really got my goat, that I still think about. The number one for me, that's at the top of my list, would be is an episode called 0 Hour, and it's a creepy little short story. It was done by Ray Bradbury, who's the guy that wrote Fahrenheit 451, I think is the name. Super influential book that I never read. But he wrote this short story, and it's pretty badass. It's scary because I'll give you the skinny. There's a little girl, and she lives in her nice white, nuclear family suburban neighborhood, and her mom is doing the dishes. She comes in from playing outside, and her mom's like, what have you been up to? And she says, I've been playing with the aliens in the bushes. And her mom's like, oh, you and those imagination, you and the other kids. And she's like, yeah, they're really nice. And then as the episode progresses, she's taking stuff from the kitchen, silverware and appliances. And she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, the aliens need them. I think she even names one of them to make it sound like it's, less scary. And her mom thinks it's like an imaginary friend. And then the episode progresses, and it gets worse and worse because she's taking more stuff. And then she's like, Mom, they're going to come through. And, when the aliens come through, they said that I can stay up as late as I want. And they're going to take you and Dad out because you guys are mean. It builds to a point where the mom's like, all right, whatever. And then she looks outside one day, and then something comes out of the bushes with the little girl, and she's terrified by just looking at it. And she's like, oh shit, she's been telling the truth the whole time. That's terrifying. We're going to play hide and seek with you, Mom. And the alien and the little girl are trying to find her. And the little girl thinks it's a game, but it's clearly not. And the mom is just freaking out. And the episode just ends where you hear the door open. The little girl goes, we found you. And it's super creepy. And the mom gives the most blood-curdling scream I've ever heard. That episode still sticks with me just because of how well it was presented. And again, you don't see the alien. So you just make up what you think it looks like, and that can be as scary as you want it to be. And I think that's kind of the funnest part about it. There's so many good ones. I'm trying to think. There's another one that I liked so good, and I don't remember the name of this episode, but there's an episode where alien planet, and we land on it, we colonize it, and we're trying to grow crops and harvest, right? And then as we're doing that, there's like pests that are destroying the crops. And so the farmers on the planet get with the engineers and scientists, and they're like, develop a pesticide to kill off these pests, these bugs. And they do. And then the bugs are gone for a season. And then a little bit later, they come back, right? Except it's not bugs, it's rats. And so rats that have never been on the planet before show up out of nowhere and just start eating the crops again. And so they're like, well, in order to kill these rats, let's just make like robot dogs, you know, because it's sci-fi. Why not? Instead of real dogs, we got robot dogs. And so they make robot dogs to like kill the rats. And then, you know, it's good for a while. They kill all the rodents on the planet. And then these... I forgot what comes back. It's like tigers almost. I think tigers come back to a certain extent, but they're alien tigers. And they kill the robot dogs, and they're bigger. And so, like, at this point, people are like, what the heck? There was no life on this planet, and now life is starting to show up. What's going on here? Was it in hiding, right? And so the scientists get the carcasses of all the different things, and they put it on a table, and they're looking through it, and they're just like, every single one of these animals has the same genetic code, and they realize like it's the same species, but even though it looks wildly different, it's the same species, but it has physically adapted to the scenario. It's like evolution happens way quicker on this planet. It went from like single-celled organisms all the way up to tigers. And they're like, well, we have to stop these tigers, they're getting out of hand. And so they do. It comes back as a human, like they're humanoids. And then they're like, let's kill these humanoid things, these alien things. And then one of the scientists is like, don't do that, because if you do, we don't know what's past us. Whatever this thing is, it's going to evolve past us, and it's going to come back and kick our ass, and then we won't be prepared. And I love that ending because it was terrifying. And so they make peace with the aliens instead of trying to kill them off, which was great. And like, I thought that idea alone was scary enough just to make you think on it, because you're just like, yeah, what would be past the human race in that scenario, right? You move up the evolutionary ladder, if you will, and see the chaos that can be caused by that. Such fun ideas. I think this, more than anything, is just a little tribute video for the show, because like I said, it's just it's one that I grew up listening to, and I have a big affinity for X-1. It's great. It has inspired me in the stories that I like to tell, and my palette for narratives. And I love making sci-fi because of it. And if you're looking to listen to a couple episodes, I'd highly recommend it. I just found out that they're on Spotify, a lot of them. So if you type that in, you'll be able to listen to some old episodes from this broadcast. Love to hear what you think. If you've seen the show, what inspires you to create? Because that, like I said, that for me was a big inspiration throughout my life, and I didn't really realize it until recently. But thanks for watching. Probably gonna make more videos like this, maybe not so as in-depth as that intro. It took me like a whole day just to make that one little graphic, and that's real, by the way. I projected that onto my radio with a little shitty $60 projector in After Effects. So really proud of how that one turned out. But if you liked it, if you like this video, if you like X-1, if you enjoy the Twilight Zone, leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite episode is. Tell me what your favorite anything is. I don't give a crap. I'd love to hear from you. You're pretty cool. But thanks for watching. If you watched this to the end, God bless you. You didn't have to do that, but you did. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Bye.